Hey, this is Lamont from the House of Lamont in Charlotte. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast here in Concord, North Carolina. Stay dapper, my friend.
On this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, we talk about some mystery animals that are killing things around the area, a surprise top Netflix shows by state, and our special guest Lamont from the House of Lamont. All that and more on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's two guys' take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Knuckles studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. There he is. He's sitting across the way. He's the pride of Anderson, South Carolina. But most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue one, 2016's Honorable Mention Father of the Year, the inventor of the Redneck Egg Roll. Give it up on old mic number one. It's Mojo. Hey.
Dude,
how about you?
Yeah, it's cold outside.
It is cold.
Anyway, appreciate you tuning in as always. You can find us on the Southern Fried Philosophy website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can find us on the Facebooks by the same name, Southern Fried Philosophy. Go to our Instagram and Twitter's at SFP Radio or youtube.com/SFP Radio for those listening at work or at home. It is suitable for work, so feel free to blast it. Please go to our favorite iTunes player or our podcast player, such as iTunes, Spotify, any Android device, Google Play, iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
It's just so many to keep up with now. So basically, anywhere you listen, you can go and find us there. Just subscribe, give us a like, give us a review. Most importantly, share those favorite episodes. And the ones who have been sharing it here lately, we appreciate it. And we picked up a lot of new listeners from really all over the globe.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got some new listeners from Fort Washington, Maryland, Bay Village, Ohio, Smyrna, Georgia, and Tavistock, England. How about you?
Yeah.
Worldwide,
thanks for joining us once again for another episode.
Also, we want to say thank you for States Vegas Radio. If that's another place that you can listen to the show, they picked us up this past week. So if you need an app or want an app, you can check out theirs at statesvegasradio.com. You can download their app and you can listen. We are live. Well, not live, but our show is recorded and played back on Mondays at 6 o'clock and then Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. So, on the drive home, you can listen to us and have a laugh, or, going home from work on Monday, you might need a good pick-me-up.
Yeah, they have some other shows on there.
Yeah.
And of course, music is filler. So it's just a general good all-purpose app. So
yeah,
I'm sure we'll kind of be we'll have some of the other guys that have shows on there. I'm sure we'll have them on just our show too.
No doubt. If you're new to the show, I was listening this past Monday, and I told you, I texted you right before we went on, like, I'm really nervous that we were going on States Vegas. And you're like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like another step, in our radio career. But if you never listened to it, I was thinking about it, like, these people have never heard us before. So might want to talk about the show and like who we are and that kind of stuff. So Brandon Mojo, we call him Brandon Mojo on the show. How did that even occur?
Back in the old days when I was part of the MC world, that was just a name given to me.
The motorcycle club, is that the MC?
Yeah, MC motorcycle club.
I was thinking MC Hammer.
But I used to have some restaurants named Mojo. Okay. Mojo's back in the day, so that just kind of stuck with me as a moniker.
That's cool. Yeah. I like it. It fits you pretty well. You also
it's better than the nickname my wife has for me.
Oh, so what is that?
It's not suitable.
You're not
for
approved.
work.
Not, and that's the other thing too. And you mentioned it before. Like, we are suitable for work. We try to keep it G. Sometimes we get a little PG-13ish.
But that's because we're perpetually 8 to 12 years old in our brain. So
in our heads, we're pushing that 13-year-old mark.
Yeah, we're not quite there.
Level.
Our voices started cracking, but we're not quite at that 13-year-old level yet.
You're right. And also, going back to you want to talk about your heart transplant? That was a big thing that happened in your life?
Yeah. 3 years ago almost. Coming up this March will be my third anniversary for a heart transplant. So Yeah, I've got a kind of interesting story. I'm working on my 9th life right now. I'm hoping that
Meow.
I'm hoping that I can outlive that a little bit longer. But yeah, had a heart transplant and just grateful to be here. And you can go back and listen to any of our archived catalog back there. If you go to iTunes, you can find that. Actually, our first episode was just kind of my story, and Biggin or JT's story was the second. So yeah, love to have you go back and listen to those. I mean, just blessed to be here. I know we hear that word blessed a lot. It's kind of one of those overused words, but really I feel that way.
Sure.
So tell a little bit about yourself.
Also, just to point out that you own a motorcycle shop.
A motorcycle dealership over in Mooresville. So
Busted Knuckle, as we say, the Busted Knuckle Studio, but it's actually the Busted Knuckle Motorcycle.
Yeah. So anybody,
shop?
I mean, obviously anybody listening to the Statesville area or surrounding cities, I'm a dealer, so the good stuff. I mean, it's still addictive, but BustedKnuckleMotorcycles.com is our website, and come down to the shop and get your bike worked on too. Mark,
there you go.
The owner of the shop there has been working on bikes since Jesus was peddling sandals. So,
wow, I did not know that about Jesus. It's in the Book of Hesitations, I think.
He's got your needs there.
Yeah. IB Biggin. I got that moniker as I did a radio show, also a podcast called Dr. Dave and Biggin when I used to live in Houston. Now I've moved to Charlotte, and man, I missed it so much. I was like, hey, you survived this heart transplant. Let's do a podcast.
Yeah.
So
you need something to do with your life.
You're right. So we decided to do that. I'm a systems analyst. I work from home most of the time. So that's a little bit about us. Every time on the show, you'll probably get some wacky news, something that we hear from the news that we think is funny that we want to talk about. Probably some hot topics or just regular topics that we want to bring up, and then also we'll usually have a guest. Usually, some really we've had some really interesting guests.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually people that they have an interesting story. I mean, it can range everything from Second Amendment to politics to people that just got into their career field that's very interesting. And these are people that we know, we have met, we've developed relationships with. And just thoroughly enjoy hearing about the story. And the reason why we like to have the story aspect, especially, I'm pro small business, and our guest today will be is a small business owner. Those people get out there, they sacrifice, they see a vision, and they try to fill that void. And some are successful, some are not. But everyone has an interesting story. Just like you see stories in the book of the Bible, everybody has that beginning, that middle, that fall, and then redemption story. Everyone's story has that kind of model in it. So, I want to have these guests on to encourage people and listeners, but also make them think too.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
So actually, if you have any interesting stories, please contact us. We'd love to have you sit down and chit chat with us. And because everyone's unique, and you don't have to be on the cover of a magazine. You don't have to be publicized on the social medias, which is, almost makes you want to puke nowadays. But everyone has an interesting story.
Yeah. Well, speaking about contacting us, if you want to hang out with us, you can email us at sfpradio@gmail.com. We record on Wednesday nights, usually around 7 o'clock. So if you have nothing else to do and you want to come hang out with us, email us at that email address. This evening, we've got our IT guru, Hussein, with us. So he's just sitting over there in the Bad Mother Smoker smoking hot seats over there. So, hey, Hussein. Hello. He says hello.
Yeah, we know Hussein from church. He's a good cat.
Yeah.
One of the most caring and loving and selfless guys I know. So
yeah, no doubt. I feel like I'm a cuddly teddy bear. Yeah. I think I would also call Hussein a cuddly teddy bear, because I feel like I could just.
Yeah, if there's any single women out there too, we're trying to hook them up.
All the single ladies.
Yeah, just email that SFP
Radio. Oh my gosh, what if we did like a bachelor version? Ooh. But it's like, instead of giving a rose, he has to give like a biscuit to a girl. And then, oh my gosh, I think we're on to something. We'll have to play with this and see if we can do it.
We'll actually have like a speed dating segment, like 10 minutes, biscuits and gravy. I like this.
I love this idea. So,
welcome to the show, Hussein. You're now part of it.
You're now part of it. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week, Mojo, how you be doing?
I'm You know that feeling you have when you're driving down the road and you see the Krispy Kreme sign.
Oh,
and
buddy.
You're coming over the hill. You're like, man, please be on. Please be on.
You're begging for it.
All of a sudden, you crest that hill.
Oh, no.
And you see that hot light sign
That's so
on.
good. That's so good.
That's just so good. That's how I'm doing. I feel like
Wow.
that. Just finding that hot light is on, and just about to know that I'm about to pull in and plow. I
Careful.
8 to 12 donuts in my
Okay.
face at one time. So,
All right. Wow.
in fact, that happened this past Saturday after a wedding.
Really?
Yeah, my wife and I, we broke our diet. We had to drive right past the Krispy Kreme, saw the hot light on.
Hey,
we
buddy.
got out, smelled probably a plume of reefer, which I knew I was in a good place because obviously they were there for the munchies too.
Sure. Okay.
And we ordered 2.5 dozen donuts, and I think I finished a dozen by myself.
Are you serious?
By the time we got to the highway, yeah.
That can happen.
That's how you do it.
That can happen.
That's how you do it. That's big leagues, baby.
Those Krispy Kremes, like we talked before, they just melt in your mouth. It's like cotton candy.
Yeah, it's just like they squish them. And I challenge anybody to prove that there's a better fresh donut out there. I don't think there is.
I enjoy the downtown donuts, but you're right. Like Krispy Kreme hot on another level.
I'm not saying Krispy Kreme
cold?
3 days old.
Oh, no.
no.
That's nothing.
I reheat in the microwave and things like that, but fresh out of the grease with the piping hot icing.
You're right. You can't. You
Not
can't
now.
even.
Like I said, I love some downtown donuts by name,
Yeah.
but the Krispy Kreme.
Oh, yeah. No, you're 100% accurate.
If I could
100.
just put it in a syringe, just go straight.
Straight in, baby.
Anyway. How you be doing?
I'm good. We had a foster kid placement this past weekend.
Awesome.
Not going to mention any names, but the foster parent just needed a break.
Sure.
And so that's kind of where we are. We're just like the backups at this point. We are like the fun aunt and uncle where we can like do whatever we want to with them and then send them home.
oh, yeah.
Be like, see ya. So we had them for 48 hours. I was doing the math. Like if we take 8 hours per sleep, we had 2 sleeps, so that's 16 hours. So we're down to like active, you're awake for 32 hours. I'm like, I've got this. This is going to be easy peasy. 32 hours, I can do whatever. We get the kid Friday at 6 o'clock. Usually at that point, he's going to bed at 8:30. So like, that's not too much time. So we show him around, play a board game, that kind of stuff. The next day, we're up and at him at 7:30, which, by the way, my wife and I, if we had our druthers, we are sleeping till, pretty close to noon on Saturday. So that was a little bit of a wake-up call. And then, we got up at 7:30, did the breakfast. By noon, we're like staring at each other like, well, what do we do now? Yeah. So my question is, what do parents do with kids all the time?
Well, I mean,
what in the world?
I'm not one of these type of super parents where you have to have every waking hour this extraordinarily overwhelming, over the top type adventure. Like you see those, and I doubt they are. I mean, I know some people who go out there and drag their kids around all the time like that and do different things. But man, we don't do that. I mean, the ones that parents are like, oh yeah, with their nature conservatory or whatever, and then 2 minutes later, we're at the museum of whatever with our kids.
Sure.
We're not that way. We're guilty just like my parents were. We let them watch some TV, let them play. Yeah. When they get bored, we make them clean. I mean, yeah.
So clean. I'm going to write that down.
Every moment is not. Yeah. has to be this extraordinary adventure time.
Yeah. So. It was our first one, so we're kind of a little, oversensitive of like we got to entertain them and that kind of stuff. No. So
kids are resilient, man. They if a kid can't entertain themselves, well, I don't think they get an opportunity to use their imagination.
And that's the thing is like now I'm going to use big word parenting words. We had to limit the screen time with the not screen time because we could have just let them like. Go gangbusters on PS4 and just not talk to them for 4 days. But, we had to limit that. So now I'm using big parent words.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong. But, there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of times, and I've been guilty of it too, at certain times, where you have, you let the TV or the iPad or whatever manage your kid, basically manage your kid. Yeah. Or babysit your kid. I've been guilty of that. I'm not going to browbeat anybody over that, but I think a lot of times parents do use that as a tool.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a great experience. We had a great time. We'll be doing it again hopefully shortly. So it was interesting. I'll say that.
I may drop my kids off this weekend so I can go to the casino.
Come on with it. I'll take them. You know I love your girls. All right, so we're going to have the Southern word of the week. All right, so this one's a little risque, I'll say, but it is a true word. The word is fornication. Mm-hmm. For our normal listeners, that we'll refer to that as hello time. Mm-hmm. You know, time with a husband and a wife, where we get to experience the marital fruits. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what we call it. So if you're a new listener, we normally say hello time. So the Southern word for the week, again, fornication. And here's the usage: Charlene's dress is perfect for an occasion like tonight. How about
bingo?
Bingo. Didn't see that coming, did you? The fornication for tonight. If you were to say it out as plain English, for an occasion.
Yeah.
As tonight.
I got you.
Okay.
I wonder what Northerners think of us with our accents like that.
I don't know. If you just think of somebody talking with a mouthful of marbles, you can clean it up.
Well, that's Kentucky.
Yeah, no, that's no doubt about that. And then South Georgia. I love my in-laws, but sometimes I'm like, I have no idea what you said. So I love y'all. I do. But I'm like, what?
It doesn't help. There's no Google Translator app for that.
There needs to be, right?
Yeah.
Google Translate Southern.
Because there's so many different regions.
Yeah.
Like, just like our listener in England. I mean, obviously England, man, they have so many different dialects.
Which I can listen to them all day, every day.
But some of them can't even understand. Like everyone in England definitely can't understand people from Manchester. It's just that garbled up. I mean, no disrespect to our Manchester listeners, but I'm just saying that it's just a thick accent that you can't understand.
I don't know, man. I remember when I was going to India, I was beside people from England, and I just kept trying to listen. I didn't care what they were saying, just the accent. I was like, that's so cool.
And definitely English accents sell TV products a lot better too.
I instantly think that they're so much smarter than we are.
Oh yeah,
just because of that.
Like, I mean, how many Gotham nonstick pans do you own right now after buying them off the internet?
47. I just counted 47. All right, so let's go into some wacky news brought to you by Webmerized. If you need a clean, crisp website, go check out our friends at webmerized.com. That's webmerized.com. Check them out on the sponsors link of our website. All right, so here is the headline: Baltimore man burns to death after exiting a porta potty near M&T Bank. This is out of Baltimore, Maryland. A Baltimore, Maryland died Sunday after apparently caught fire while inside a porta potty near the bank stadium. Fire crews responded to the scene, and there were 3 porta potties on fire. The person called in to say that they saw a man exit the porta potty on fire and collapse. My question to you guys is, what did he eat? Like, I don't want to make light of the situation. I mean, the man died.
Flaming Hot Cheetos.
But you think?
No, I don't know. But I couldn't even guess.
But how do you think that happened? Like, do you believe? Because we've talked a little bit of coast to coast and those kind of
like combustible human theory,
the spontaneous combustion. What do you think? Do you think that's real?
I don't know. I mean, you said this happened in D.C., right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, D.C.
Baltimore.
Okay. Baltimore's been really cold the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if the guy was in there probably homeless, seeking a break from the wind and tried to start a fire.
Oh.
Start his crack pipe.
Okay.
I mean, or just try to start a cigarette and bam, all that methane gas just boom.
That's my question: are those things flammable? Like, if I've never gone into a porta potty and I've seen like a no smoking sticker.
I don't know,
but I would think
it's a good question. Ask the experts, which we have no experts.
We need one. Yeah. So if you know, please email us or tweet us at SFP Radio. But like, is the blue
goo?
Is that flammable?
It shouldn't be, no.
Or if you collect all of that methane gas, would that catch on fire? I need to know these things.
Yeah. It almost sounds like the guy used some type of accelerant or something like that. But yeah, I mean, talk about wacky. That's definitely a wacky story. I wonder if they have a follow up with that story.
I don't know. We'll maybe keep an eye out and see next week if there's that. Or like he was smoking, and then the giant a spare tire of toilet paper. Maybe that caught on fire. Now that I think about that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, sad the guy had to end that way. But I mean,
yeah.
Damn, I'm kind of curious now what caused all this.
No doubt.
This is a case for the X-Files or Fringe Division.
Oh, we got that. We could. Well, and this one is also kind of going into it too. There is wildlife experts investigate death of a high school teacher. She's 77, killed in vicious attack by a mystery animal right here in North Carolina. A mystery animal. It just says off the coast. Pungo Christian Academy. I have no idea where that's at. Off the coast of North Carolina. There was a 77-year-old woman that was walking. She was attacked by a mystery animal around 5:45. Someone called it in, and they got to the scene, and they, gathered the body. They tried to do some DNA testing on the clothing that was ripped up. It was just a brutal attack. They said that they can't figure out if it's canine or wolves or dogs. It's neither one of those, but they can't figure it out. What's going on?
Chupacabra.
I don't know, but sweet little lady. Look, she looks like a little grandma. We'll have the story on our show notes. She's just a cutie, but just a mystery animal attack got her. They can't figure out what it is. Y'all,
that's why you always carry a sidearm.
I'm getting a little worried about this. You think that that's just the only, and that one's close to home, right? But there was another story in Louisville, Kentucky, that llamas. There was a pack of llamas that were mysteriously killed also this week. That were just killed. Gruesome attack is what they call it, and they don't know what it is either. They can't figure out if it was a dog, if it was a wolf, whatever.
Yeah, let's just Cletus got in some of the shine and then walked out there and just started, using his Freddy Krueger scissor hands or whatever from 1985.
No, the lady woke up about 7:30 and saw these poor animals just mutilated. And we have documented so many times on this show how much I think that we should not ever own animals that can kill us. We've talked about dogs. Snakes, anything. Tigers. If I'm tigers. If I am asleep and this animal attacks me, will it kill me? I have like a little thing. Yes. Okay. Then I will not own it. No. Okay. I will own it. We have gone way too far on the exotic animal. Hey, I want to have an alligator in my house, so I'm just going to keep it. Y'all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
if we use that standard, I may have to make that checklist too for my wife, because I do fear that one of these days she's going to snap and just smother me with a pillow.
We are the supreme animals. I think we should kill anything that can kill us. Can I just say that? Like everything that can kill us, let's just take it out,
or at least not have it near us. Well, they are useful in nature, but
I don't know.
I don't know about having them as a pet.
Yeah. Well, even giant dogs.
Yeah.
You have a giant dog.
Yeah.
If at some time he says, I'm having a bad day and decides to go for you, what are you going to do?
That's true. I'll distract her with a cat litter box for the kitty Snickers.
I just don't. I can't get down with that. Anything that can kill me, I'm out.
I understand that fear.
So, but is this a werewolf? Can we talk about? Is that a werewolf?
Hey, you never know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, is there any mysterious urban legend animals in Kentucky or off the coast of North Carolina?
Well, I would say Bigfoot. There's always the Bigfoot. You remember, in North Carolina, we had the Bigfoot sighting, and
this thing was 10 foot tall. He had beautiful hair.
You remember that guy, right? And then the other lady, we did a story about the boa constrictor that jumped on the lady's face, and then she had to call 911. It was
911. What is the location of your emergency?
Please.
Hello.
I have a boa constrictor stuck to my face.
Ma'am, you have a what?
Boa constrictor.
Boa constrictor.
Outside with it.
Y'all, God, can we stop with these animals?
Yeah, you're right.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Werewolf.
Yeah, no doubt. Actually, there's been an uptick in Bigfoot sightings this year. I don't know if you've seen that.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
and tigers and mountain lions. We've had numerous stories about mountain lions coming at you.
Right.
I mean, the guy killed one with his bare hands the other day.
Yeah. That was a pretty awesome story.
Yeah, no doubt. He just and he got him. He's like wrestling.
I think he accredited his MMA fighting skills, and I think he said something about people are surprised I'm no Chuck Norris or something like that. So.
Oh, man. All right, so we'll go to the next story. If you have any theories, though, again, tweet us, Instagram us, Facebook message us what you think this could possibly be. I'm going out on a limb and saying it's a werewolf, but, I could be wrong. The next story is a Memphis teen. You talk about teenagers not knowing, I'm just going to sit here and play a PlayStation all day or whatever. This Memphis teen constructs a working nuclear fusion reactor in his home laboratory. Sorry. I can't even read, much less build a
That's the
nuclear
kid I want to be
fusion
sitting
reactor.
behind in class.
This is courtesy of Fox News. I'll go ahead and play the bumper for it.
They spend their time on social media for fun. When it comes to 14-year-old Jackson Oswald, fun is a little different.
I started searching for things on the internet.
Careful, kid.
Nuclear things, just because that's what interests me.
After deciding he didn't want to play video games all day, Jackson got to work on a nuclear fusion reactor. And right here in this room in his Memphis home.
This is the inside of the lab, and right here is the main piece.
I mean, this thing is on a table.
It took Jack half of connecting dots before successfully achieving fusion.
I mean, it looks like a flux capacitor. I'm not kidding you.
Using high temperatures and force to produce a burst of energy.
Being a parent of somebody that was as driven as he was really impressive.
Experts from Fusion.net, an online forum for amateur physicists looking to get hands-on experience with fusion, verify Jackson's results and say he's the real deal.
You have to jump through the right hoops, and we have to believe you and see what you've done.
It just means that I've successfully combined two atoms of, in this case, deuterium gas, while ejecting a neutron.
The process is similar to how the sun powers itself, but scientists have yet to figure out how to build a fusion reactor that, like the sun, releases more energy than it takes in to power things like homes and buildings.
We are still far away from making a working nuclear fusion reactor to produce electricity.
Sorry.
So you can think about how challenging it is to make a fusion reactor.
The 14-year-old is now hoping to open that challenge up to other kids.
I'm working on creating an organization to fund the projects of kids that aren't fortunate enough to have financial support.
Who knows? It could lead to science's next great invention. In Memphis, Charles Watson, Fox News.
So, here's the thing. What do you think the HOA has to say about that?
I'm not worried about the HOA. You have people out there complaining every day on the old social medias about guns and stuff out on the street. That can kill one, maybe 5, 6 people. This guy can wipe out the entire species.
Well, my thing is for this kid is, I've seen way too many Marvel movies where it starts off as, the kid that gets picked on, and then he's building a nuclear fusion reactor, and then at some point this is going to blow up, and then he's going to become the supervillain and destroy us all.
Yeah, he loses all of his hair, and then, bam.
He's the bad guy.
But also or you can develop your own. Remember a Weird Science, the movie? All of a sudden you put in calculations and develop your own supermodel.
Yep. Good night. I mean, listen, if you live in Memphis, be nice to this kid.
Yeah. No,
I mean, if you are the homecoming queen, you need to go out with him, give him a date, just be very, very nice to this kid.
The FBI's out there looking for people ordering pressure cookers off the internet, Amazon, and backpacks. But we have a kid ordering nuclear fusion parts off the line. Yeah, that's awesome. That's comforting.
Yeah, good gracious.
He's also wanting to raise money for disadvantaged kids to buy their own fusion. Yeah.
This is going to turn out horrible. Y'all, be very careful for this kid. Oh, man. All right, so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have some hot topics, and we have our special guest, Lamond, from the House of Lamond. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We'll be right back. Words cannot describe how awesome Robert and his team at Webmerized are. In our time of need, Robert came through for us and devoted more time than expected to help our organization develop our new website. It truly is a blessing to have an individual that can speak to the average person not in the IT world in a manner that can easily be understood. The process of working with his team was painless, and I look forward to working with them for future projects. Our website is spectacular, and I'm really proud of what was developed by Webmerized. Thanks. Don't take Stella H's word for it, and also Southern Fried Philosophies, but go out to webmerized.com, WEBMERIZED, or check out the sponsors link on our website. And if you mention the word biggin in your order, you'll get 10% off. Check them out at webmerized.com for your web services needs. All right, we are back, and you are, again, listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast. We got some hot topics that we're going to talk about. Mojo, can you talk about selling the state of Montana?
Yes, I guess there's a petition now that just got started, and it's raised a few signatures. Before anyone gets their panties in a wad, it is a satire-type petition, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they're trying to sell the state of Montana to Canada for $1 trillion to help lower our deficit. I guess our deficit just has clicked $22 trillion. So,
oh, wow.
Obviously, I guess if we piecemeal the states like properties on Monopoly, I guess we'll get that thing down sometime.
I will gladly just buy California and New York for like $1.50 and just be like, you do your own thing. Don't even be part.
Yeah. So if Canada really does want to buy, we'll just sell New York and California.
Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with that. Yeah. They were talking about trying to exit the U.S. themselves, right? Or at least California was.
Well, actually, there was a big move for New York City years ago to actually become their own country.
Oh, go for it.
I mean, it's
knock
probably
yourself out.
60 years ago. But yeah, you definitely. You buy California, we'll actually throw in New York for free. We're willing to talk.
Genius.
Yeah, we're willing to talk.
We talked about this on the teaser. So Netflix came out and they said, here's the top TV shows that are binge watched in each state. And I thought this was pretty interesting. So any idea of what it could be for the state of North Carolina? Any idea what is binge watched most on the old Netflix? Hussein, any thoughts out of you? You said no. Okay. No clue. No, I
have no clue.
It's 13 Reasons Why.
Really?
That's the top trending show in North Carolina.
So I guess we have a lot of teenagers with accounts.
I guess so.
Wow. I didn't realize it.
South Carolina takes a pretty similar twist to it. The End of the Effing World.
Nice. I guess
South Carolina.
Teenage, yeah.
Yeah. Georgia is Luke Cage. Didn't see that one coming. And then which
actually just got canceled, I believe.
Yeah. And then Florida, Daredevil. You know, the blind guy.
Which just got canceled too, I believe.
Which also just got canceled. So I thought those were pretty interesting. Daredevil also was tied in Kentucky. Tennessee had House of Cards. Alabama was Riverdale. I've never heard of.
No, teenage show.
Is that another one? And then Louisiana, 13 Reasons Why. Oh, sorry. It was the Orange is the New Black in Louisiana, of course. One thing that I was not surprised is nobody can make up their stinking mind in Washington, D.C. There was a 16-way tie in Washington, D.C.
That's perfect.
Is that not perfect? Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, there's from BoJack Horseman to Maniac. That probably fits pretty well. So, anyways, thanks a lot, D.C. Can't get your mind together.
The problem with I like the fact that they release all these shows where you can binge watch, but I hate the fact that they release all these shows so you can binge watch.
Sure,
because it becomes a very unproductive day.
Have you I didn't binge watch. It was a show called Taken in Plain Sight. Have you seen that one?
I haven't.
Oh, buddy, you
lock up your kids, lock up your wife.
Good gracious, have no best friends at all. I'll just tell you that. Do not have any best friends at all.
I hear you.
It is disturbing. Hussein, have you seen that one? No. Y'all, it's disturbing. It really is.
If you're a sci-fi fan, I got to give it to Netflix. They came out with a series called Altered Carbon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very good series. Yeah.
I was very impressed with that. Yeah. I like how it's a new, fresh take on the future. I thought it was really cool. Yeah,
very interesting.
Some other hot shows were Stranger Things, of course. That was pretty big. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, a lot of the End of the Effing World. There's
Really?
a ton of those.
I saw 2 episodes of that, and I haven't gone back to it.
Of course, Altered Carbon is number 1 in Washington.
Really?
How about you?
Nice. There's a new show just came out, I guess released yesterday, the day before, called The Umbrella Academy. And a lot of hype had been surrounded this one. I just watched 2 episodes of that. I'm not really too impressed. I mean, it's about childhood or children superheroes, kind of, they grew up.
What was that? There was a TV show that had that too. What was that? What, the Save the Cheerleader, Save the World?
Oprah? Not Oprah.
Do you remember that? Heroes.
Yeah,
it was Heroes. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I have not watched.
What's your go-to for Netflix?
I've talked about Making of a Murder. We talked about that on the show. Like, I watched that one. I haven't watched the next season, but I do like Stranger Things. I'm a big fan of that, mainly because it's throwback to the 80s. I like that stuff. I'm a big fan of Goonies. Like, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's kind of Goonie-esque.
So it's very Goonie-esque. So
I don't care because I can divorce myself from the man. The actor, versus the show. So I still like House of Cards. It's very well
That was
put
well
together.
done.
Yeah.
And we talked about the last season though.
Yeah,
I like
stunt.
I couldn't deal with it.
I like kind of thrillers. So Mindhunter.
Yes,
very good show.
That was fantastic.
I can't wait for them to come out with another one of that. But that was a very good show.
Yep. Well, let me kind of I can play this one legally.
Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I still love technology. Always have.
Remember that one? That was from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, the wedding scene.
Yeah. So here's some technology. Samsung has talked about. They've just came out with their foldable phone called the Galaxy Fold. It's going to be available starting April 26th, starting at a mere cost of $2,000 for a phone.
I had a hard time just doing the pay by the month, for the finance plan. So imagine how much that's going to be, too.
Yeah, broken out into 24 pay periods.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Samsung first teased their first foldable phone. If you keep it, folded up, it's 4.6 inches. You unfold the phone, and then it's like a 7.3-inch display. It'll go from like a phone to a tablet. It could do 2 distinct screens, or it could be all combined as one. Y'all, for $2,000, I don't think I'm gonna bite on that one.
No, and I think that give it a couple of years. If the market says they want foldable phones, then we'll have foldable phones, and they'll be cheap. Just imagine. I mean, years ago when plasma TVs came out, those things are like $4,000.
Yeah.
I mean, now you get a decent sized TV for $700.
Yeah.
So I mean, just the cost will go down.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like. I mean, my wife breaks her screen so much as it is.
Oh, does she really?
Could you imagine? Well, she breaks the screen protectors like a champ. So I've had to put on like 17 of them just on the same phone. Yeah. But could you imagine trying to break? I mean, that thing could break pretty easily, especially if it's folding, and my large butt sitting on it. Hey, buddy, that's going to flatten out quick.
So I guess we're going back to a version of the flip phone.
I'll tell you what, that old Motorola Razr flip phone, that was my favorite phone that I've ever had.
Yep, and indestructible.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll over it.
Actually, the little Nokias.
Oh, the blue ones?
Yeah, they didn't fold. They were just little Nokias. Those things you could. I've literally washed one and then powered right up. So.
Oh, yeah. Good old phones when the phones were just phones. I would like to get just a regular phone, but they're more expensive than getting a smartphone.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Because they want to collect all that data.
Of course. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's probably true. You little conspiracy theorist. Speaking of conspiracy theory, you yourself are in love with Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. They are now officially offering the keto menu at Chick-fil-A.
Really?
They are.
Do tell.
You perked up. So
read it in your sexiest voice too.
Chick-fil-A is now offering menu options for those that are changing their diet and eating habits. The restaurant's keto-friendly menu items now allow you to eat on the go and stick to your popular diet trend. Some of the keto menu available items are for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They include the egg white grill. It has 1 net carb without the English muffin. Here's the thing in this article I'm confused about. The sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, it has 2 net carbs, but it doesn't specifically say without the biscuit. I'm wondering if the entire biscuit is 2 net carbs. Entrees include the grilled chicken sandwich, which has 3 net carbs without the bun, and the grilled chicken club sandwich, 3 net carbs also without the bun. Basically, just remove
order
the bun.
stuff with the bread.
Yeah, that's about it. I remember when my wife and I were on it, we loved the breakfast burrito, and then just without the thing, just put it in a
Yeah, but
in a
now,
cup.
thanks to Hussein, he introduced me to low-carb tortillas.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
So, yeah, I can go home and
put it in there.
I do that all the time. I make a keto breakfast burrito all the time.
I love those burritos. And the salsa, the jalapeno salsa that comes in there.
Oh, yeah. Some good eating.
Buddy. That's some good stuff. All right, so can we talk a little bit about this? And you said it right, Juicy Smollett. Jesse Spano.
I got it. His name's Jesse Smollett. But, and people get mad at me and I love it. There's several people in my circle who love to send me like outrage stories. Like, as soon as it hits the presses, look at this. I told you there was just, a country of 330 million. We have 329 million racists. I mean, just because you think they're harking around every corner. But
I bet you were getting a ton of them with. But it was AOC, whatever her name is.
Oh, yeah.
Alexandra
Ocasio-Penta Santa Maria Cortez.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Send your emails.
No, but so obviously, unless you just got back from a recent trip to Mars, you probably have heard the story where this actor from this TV show Empire on Fox, we didn't know at the time was getting written off, but. So he allegedly first received some hate mail at the Fox studio with threatening mails or threatening letters, and then shortly after that, when the letter was not getting enough attention, as the story plays out here, allegedly he was attacked on his way back from getting a Subway sandwich outside near his residence.
See, that's where it throws me for a loop. You're not an actor on the story Empire, and you're going to Subway. I'm just saying.
Well, I guess he had to have a foot long, but so he gets back. He calls the cops. The cops come out there, start doing some investigation. So he had a noose around his neck, cuts and scrapes, and some type of mystery substance, like I guess they determined it was probably bleach, poured on him. So obviously this automatically registered. And of course, I guess the perpetrators yelled, "This is MAGA country, MAGA, make America great again," just for those who have been hiding under a rock. So obviously they investigated this, and the story just kept unfolding. And of course, the outrage mob gets out there, social media, look at this, disgusting, racist, anyone who wears a red hat, that Trump this, Trump that. I mean. And once again, I'm not a water carrier for Trump. But this is over the top hype. But as the story has unfolded the last 2 weeks, I've come to find out that the 2 guys who actually attacked Jussie was 2 Nigerian brothers who he hired. He paid them $3,500 a piece to help stage all this. So this is panning out to be. In breaking news as of today, of course, you'll hear this podcast 4 days after we record this. But as of right now, they're actually looking at Jussie as the suspect now of his own hate crime.
Wow! How about you?
If they arrest him, do they actually charge him?
Yeah,
with a hate crime.
And I guess he could be. Well, he definitely could be charged with false accusation, police report.
But if he beat his own. And yelled racial epitaphs and homophobic slurs, will he be charged with it? Like a self-hate crime?
Oh, wow.
I'm curious here.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was
attempted lynching.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know he was getting written off on the show, and that's why he was doing it. I thought he just did it just to be doing it.
Well, I think he was only going to be on for 9 episodes this season, and so his part was getting written off. Well, Fox announced that they just said, I tell you what, don't even show back up.
Ooh.
So he's been told,
backfired.
So instead of 9, he gets nada. So, that's why I encourage everyone to not react when the story first pops out. Give it a little time for it to vent. Let it air out a little bit. Let the story come and unfold a little bit. You don't have to automatically hit that your thoughts on the social medias and press post. You don't have to do that. You don't, because everyone, especially the celebrities and now these politicians that Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Alyssa Milano is one of the more out front actresses that had posted about this. They're all now having to walk this back. I mean, Nancy Pelosi went and deleted a tweet that she tweeted out about this. So all these people have egg on their face. They look like complete morons, which we already knew that to begin with, but now we have verifiable proof. So, I think you got to kind of, before you react, and this goes for both sides of the political aisle, before you react, let it air out a little bit. Yeah. Just like when you bring home that takeout Chinese food, open the box, let it vent out a little bit.
Let it breathe.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll get like a hot pizza. Otherwise, you'll get a pizza sword, and you got to walk that back. Yeah. So,
well, and the Washington Post is kind of getting a little hot news too, with the kid at the Washington and the Native American guy,
Covington High School.
Yeah, the Covington High School kids.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see 2019 be one of the greatest. With Trump using the hashtag fake news, I think. For his base, he is going to be able to prove that over and over this year.
Sure.
2019 is not. There's no shortage of news that has come out that everyone had to be outraged about, and then come to find out that it had nothing to do with anything. So,
whatever happened to journalists when, like, a journalist would say, Trump is wanting to build a wall, and here's why he thinks that that's correct, and then here's the other opposing side, and this is why they think that's correct.
Right.
End of story.
Right. Now, I think real journalism's dead.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think true journalism, actually comes from independent, independent journalists or citizen journalists, as they call it. We had one of our guys who actually wrote a book is on our show, John Trump, John Francis Trump, not to be mistaken with the president.
Yeah.
He is an independent journalist, or he's a journalist, but he also does some independent stuff too. And I think a lot of his work is great. There's a guy, Tim Pool, I follow on the internet. Now he's kind of a middle of the road guy. I mean,
an actual journalist.
He actually.
How about you?
So I mean, he's actually quit agencies because they told him to write one way. Write the left propaganda. So he decided to say, "No, see you later."
Wow. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have Lamond from the House of Lamond. Really cool story. I'm looking forward to hearing that. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We will be right back. If you are in the market for a high-quality cigar for a very reasonable price, you must check out Watchman Cigars. Watchman Cigars is a family-owned business that puts the customer first with the best customer service in the business. Watchman Cigars offers the Habano for a full, spicy flavor, the Connecticut for a mild, easy-to-smoke option, and the Maduro for a strong, powerful experience. They even do specialty blends and partner with you to provide a custom exclusive line just for you. Watchman Cigars has all your cigar needs. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Watchman Cigars 1991 or email Leon directly at Watchman_cigars@yahoo.com. That's Watchman_cigars@yahoo.com, or check out the sponsors section of our website.
Welcome back to the show. Once again, this is the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. On today's interview segment, we have a friend of mine now, as of 2 weeks ago, but I get to call him a friend because he hooked me up. This is Lamond. He has a little shop, which is making quite the stir here in Charlotte area. It's called the House of Lamond. Lamond does just the greatest thing. He gets people like me who haven't fully crossed over into learning how to dress themselves in adulthood. So, and for special occasions, but he's just a great men's boutique, and I can't brag about him enough just because he got me prepared for a wedding, and I actually won a bet. So, welcome to the show, Lamont.
I need to know what the bet is, though.
I can't tell you.
Oh, wow. Hey, buddy. It
was between me and my wife.
Awesome.
Some hello time. Welcome to the show, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I really do.
So explain, obviously do a better job than I can explaining your shop and just what it is right now, and we'll kind of get into some other questions.
Well, I created the House of Lamont to be the house of the world. It's a play on my name. Just to let everybody know, we're Southern here, Southern hospitality. Everybody's welcome. You never come into grandma's house without getting anything off, without being offered anything to eat or drink. I try to make sure that my clients, one, have that experience as well. But I created the boutique as a way for me to be able to use my gift, styling, knowledge of wardrobe, history of fashion, to be able to help my kings present their best foot forward. I call them kings because the Bible told me that if I was to use my gift, that my gift would bring me before great men and women, kings and queens. So when my clients enter the establishment, I greet them, peace king, peace queen. The angels, when they came into a place, they would always say, peace, be still. So it's a way for me to be able to set the environment as well as pretty much set up that level of expectation from the promise. If I greet you as king, then one, it empowers you, and then it sets the stage in terms of how we interact with each other, in terms of, again, like I said, making sure that we present our best foot forward in a well-rounded manner. So I'm not able to do it by myself. I have a couple partners at the House of Lamont, specifically Alpha Male Nail Care. Pretty much like Drake said, you got to start from the bottom type deal, or the word says you have to build on a solid foundation. And Alpha Male Nail Care gives us the opportunity to do just that. She provides men with manicures and pedicures in a nice man cave environment, and a couple of relationships we have, partnerships, sponsorships. Remy Martin gives us the opportunity to make sure everyone has an incredible experience. It's not just like you're coming to get your nails done or you're coming to buy clothes. You can do that anywhere. We pride ourselves on the experience and then the educational aspect of it as well. So that's what we're all about, is teaching, giving back to our community, and then using our gift to provide for our families.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool.
Well, that's a wrap.
I have never in my life had a pedicure or a manicure.
Dude.
I need to, and to be honest with you, between you and me, we won't say, I've never owned a suit.
Really?
I need to own a suit.
Oh, I can make that happen. And as far as the manicure and pedicure, Sheena would take care of you, dude. We can't be walking around with $200 shoes and $3 feet.
Dude, I said this on an earlier podcast. Like, I get worried when I have to pay like full price for a pair of like New Balance. I start freaking out. Be like, whoa, I can get this on sale somewhere.
Absolutely. But in terms of you treating yourself, I instruct my clients to treat themselves like a king, and pretty much everyone else will reciprocate the action or the way in which you treat yourself. So it's a way for you, again, to be able to present your best foot forward, and then likewise set that standard for how other people communicate and operate within your realm.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, I walked into Outback the other day, and I was like, listen here, countrymen.
Hear ye, hear ye. I'm here for my steak.
You shall kill the fattened calf.
Read it aloud.
All right, so you're telling me this is the first time we talked, how you got started. So kind of tell us how we got started, because I'm pro small business. I'm a small business owner. I believe there's a lot of the livelihood of America just flows through the small business center. So you're a small business owner. A lot of people find themselves starting a business out of necessity, or they find themselves just sick of a normal job, working that 9-to-5 grind, and obviously have a jumping off. I mean, people usually start a business in their own avenue. Where people don't succeed are usually people that come from like not having a clue how to cook a French fry, decides to open up a French bistro. They usually don't succeed. But how did you get started?
Well, in terms of prior to me opening it, in terms of experience, being able to, gain that knowledge about what I do, I work for several other entities, Banana Republic, Joseph A. Banks. I've managed several other retail establishments, and it's all pretty much got me to where, I am where I'm able to operate my own thing. But I likewise got burned by corporate America. prior military, had 8 years in the military, and have the business degree, and worked for, Wells Fargo, Wachovia during that merger, got laid off, and was called back, with a couple contracting opportunities for less pay, no insurance. And I was like, man, I'm tired of jumping rope. You know what I mean? And I kept feeling that urge to do what I love, but at that time I didn't feel like I had the money or the finances or the ability to do it. So it's like, okay, well, I might as well go back to school. So, research and everything, and health information technology was on the rise, and, it had a lucrative, a potential to, be very lucrative. And I was like, okay, let's do that. But I went to school back CPCC here in Charlotte. And of course, not much money. I had financial aid. Upon graduation, hadn't sent out any resumes. And then maybe a couple weeks prior to graduation, had the opportunity to do a big presentation at Fashion Week, which included me pretty much putting Cam Newton's line "Made" on the runway. So that kind of inspired me, in terms of giving me the energy and, I guess maybe the confirmation that my gift was sufficient, So I basically took my last $200 from that last financial aid refund check, and I put it down on a little small space in Area 15. Came home and told Jerry one day, I was like, I found my business. And he was like, oh, my God. Like, he's more so the numbers person. Not that he wasn't supportive, you know what I mean? But he was like, oh, my God. Like, okay, like, we haven't talked about this type deal, you know what I mean? But it was just that urge.
It's not like coming home with a puppy from the Humane Society.
Almost. You know what I mean? It was like, we hadn't talked about this. And I was like, well, I mean, I really feel it in my spirit. I really feel it in my heart. And like, this is what I've always wanted to do. So he supported it. And within the first 3 months of me basically dumping out my closet, because I've modeled, pretty much all over the world type deal. And I've, been a visual coordinator, and, that means a style for corporate America, stylist, pretty much, wardrobe stylist for corporate America, meaning you put together the outfits on the mannequins that, represent that brand within the window. So I had done all of that, and I was just like, man, I just really want to do it for myself. And once I did, within 3 months, I was voted best men's boutique here in Charlotte. Didn't have street front presence. I was in the back of a warehouse, Area 15 in Charlotte on Davison Street. Used Instagram, social media as a way of free advertisement to kind of push it, and just did really well. Ended up sending something to Prince Harry.
What?
Yeah, right.
What?
Right. Right.
Whoa.
Right, bro.
Holy cow.
Dude, I mean, it's just been like a constant click, 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 click up to the top. I don't feel like I've gotten there yet. And I mean, all of this anticipation and anxiety still resides within me from like day one, because I mean, every day is something better. Just me coming in, using that gift again, having the expectation of that promise being fulfilled. That if I just come in and, build it, they will come type deal, but even deeper for me, just come in and put your best foot forward. Yeah. Make sure you take care of people and everything else. Like I told you earlier, we're having conversations about food. Like, that's some celebrity stuff that I imagined as a kid. I wrote this down at 12 years old, but I had no idea that I would actually be here. So I don't know. Our power, the Wu-Tang told me, Wu-Tang has in a lyric, they say that from one single idea, everything appeared here, and understanding makes that truth crystal clear. So it just lets me know that my thoughts are relevant, and that likewise, if you can have a thought, you can manifest it. It may take some work. It may take some networking. You may have to have a certain group of people around you to make that happen. And I've always been open to that. So I've come up with, a couple of different things and platforms. One specifically a hashtag called Collaboration Over Competition that allows me to work with individuals within the same industry, not in the same industry, but all in an effort that we could all succeed and everybody eat. In addition to that, we could eat and feed. So we could all use our gifts. Everybody, come to the table, eat really good. And then likewise, we should be able to do something for our community. Yeah. Or help someone that might be, seeking to have a better life.
Everybody's got to eat, right?
Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah. Man, I love that heart it's like I'm almost looking at Will Smith over here. You know how he like has those motivation things where he's like, rah, you want to go take on the world. That's how I get, just hanging out with you just for a few minutes.
By the way, he has a crush on Will Smith. It's been well documented on the podcast.
Yeah, so. I do love Will Smith.
I'm not mad at that, bro. Like, you actually just got me super motivated now. Like, I got to go out and do like Legend. What is it? Legion, Legend, something.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. I got to do something epic now.
Let's not ask for a zombie apocalypse.
What's your opinion on Will Aladdin? He's been cast as the Aladdin, the genie in Aladdin. So,
have you seen the trailer?
I don't think that there's nothing he can do.
He can't do, or
nothing that he can't do. I'm part of.
Yeah,
there's nothing that.
That's
he can't
what I
do.
thought too. And then I saw that trailer, and I'm like, oh boy, I hope.
I mean, his voice.
It's a trailer.
It's his voice. It's not necessarily him, but like.
No, it's real. It's real live action.
Oh, really?
So it's not a cartoon. It's like actually Will doing the genie.
Oh, wow!
So it's live.
I haven't seen any of the trailers or anything.
So you have to go home and watch that and come back to us on that. So.
Okay, I'll go Google it.
But man, your story is just so powerful. It's just like you said, the last $200, and you just follow and chase your dream. And we've heard that story over and over and over again of I'm trusting that this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to go do it, and then bam, there we go.
I totally jumped off the edge and grew my wings as an entrepreneur on the way down, and it's been an incredible flight.
Wow. So go ahead.
Yeah, but just for our listeners, he used the keyword manifest. Now, a lot of you see these videos online and just people. I mean. Alone the book industry for self-motivation books and just visualizing and manifest. But what Lamont has actually said here, manifestation of that dream actually takes a little bit of legwork, a little bit of elbow grease. It doesn't just happen overnight like Christmas morning where Santa brings you a present. You actually have to shake hands, meet people, work a little bit at it. So
there's been sleepless nights. I've slept in the boutique. I've stayed up late. I've given away a lot of hours, meaning I've done stuff for free for people just to get my name out there and all kind of stuff. But it's all been worthwhile. I mean, I've understood the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously you have a fire in your belly, So
I do too, but that was because I'm Mexican. It's a Mexican
but obviously you have this fire in his belly, fire in your belly that kind of makes you drive for more. Because I mean, there's like I said, you have people that, and there's nothing wrong with people that draw paychecks more. I don't want to sound like I'm belittling, but there's two types of people. The kind of people that just get comfortable in what they're doing and they're happy with what they get, and they have people that want to achieve more. So what is that fire in your belly that drives you for more? Is there anything, childhood to middle adulthood? What inspires you to be the best you can be? Not trying to steal like a Gillette commercial.
I mean, it was a triumph to tragedy type story, I guess you would say. One, just me having an experience, my mom being murdered as a kid, at 12 years old. I came in, found my mom stabbed 33 times in the chest, 10 times in the head, and kind of went to a dark place from that, and my band teacher had been one of the most inspirational people in my life by helping me realize that, there was light at the end of the tunnel. And I was in a place where I didn't realize there was an end to the tunnel and much less a light. So, that was a big motivational thing for me. And just being able to realize that likewise gave me the opportunity to start, becoming a little bit more spiritual in my actions and then likewise in acquiring knowledge. And I wanted to know why I was here. And, you could do things like, search and see what your name means and all of that stuff. And, there's power in the word. So I'm like, if my mom brought me here and she named me Elbert Lamont Hart, like, why? And I hated that name, Elbert. You know what I mean? I go up to the front of the class and I'd be like, please say Lamont, because, we had, we're in the country, Charlotte's not too far from Concord, you know what I mean? So they'd be like, Elbert. And I hated that. You know what I mean? But once I, again, the word says that our people perish due to a lack of knowledge. And had I not, I think, understood the reason that I was created to put here, like Elbert, if you break it down, like, L was supposed to be a representation of like a God type deal. Don't get me twisted here, you guys.
Sure.
Like,
no, I got
and
you.
then birth, you know what I mean? So like, and then Lamont, so like that's like the birth of the world. And then my last name is Hart. So that's like the birth of the world's heart. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I have to take on the challenge that Jesus put out here for us. He said when he died on the cross, that man, you could do works greater than I. And his thing was to love. So if I'm the birth of the world's heart, I got to love harder. You know what I mean? I got to love through trials, tribulations, hardships. You know what I mean? And with me being able to find how to use love as my gift, and that's through wardrobing, like teaching people also showing them that they are loved. You know what I mean? By me taking care of them, but helping them love themselves, being able to appreciate how they look, being able to appreciate how it is to teach how it is for them to treat themselves like a king, and then likewise being a recipient of that energy when someone comes to them and treat them like a king. Like he fought me at first, I was trying to put on his jacket and stuff, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not, nah." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Nah, man, you're a king. This is my job. I don't mess with your motorcycles at work. You run your lane. You do your motorcycles, and I do clothes. So stand there and let me treat you right." And then I mean, that's what it is for me. Just being able to love on guys in a whole. Not in a sexual way, you know what I mean? Just in a real, genuine, loving way. You know what I mean? I have a diverse group of clients, and they're all different. But, I mean, I want to make sure that they all are providing an experience type deal, And, again, just me having the understanding of who I am helps me, likewise, get individuals to understand who they are.
I want to give the listeners a little context on how I met Lamont. So I should have probably done this at the beginning, but hey, whatever. It's our show.
We're professionals.
You use that term loosely. But so anyway, my wife lets me know a week before the date that I have to attend a wedding. So I don't normally do weddings or funerals just because, number one, I never know how to dress properly. Plus, usually I don't like doing funerals. I'm kind of trying to stay out of the grave. So anytime I'm visiting, I'm always looking for real estate. But anyway, so I call. And granted, I don't know how to dress myself.
Sure.
I'm not the guy who wears sports attire, jerseys, and shorts 24/7. But I do know how to. I just don't have like a particular style, like as he calls it, dapper. So I'm not that kind of guy. So, I heavily invest in stock that are these companies that manufacture T-shirts and flannel. I probably own some stock. So
sure.
I'm not going to retire, but
right.
But anyway, so I call Lamont in a pinch. It's like on a Monday morning. The wedding.
So how did you find the number?
I started Googling like men's suits or whatever, men's attire. I can't remember. And I did Uptown because, in Concord here, you might get a burlap sack and some,
sure.
You get dressed for wedding by going to the Tractor Supply place. So. or the mall,
Right. So. I think I need a little bit more than the Dollar General. Yeah. Gotcha.
Don't get me wrong, Concordians. I do love it here. But anyway, so I just wanted something a little different.
Yeah.
And also my wife issued this challenge. She goes, I have to get you dressed for every special event. I was like, don't do it this time. She goes, I bet you can't do it. You won't be able to pull it. You won't be able to pull it together. And I was like, woman, I got this. So
I bet you said it just like that too.
He sure did.
Uh-huh.
And we made a bet, and I was like, all right, I got this handled. So
I still want to know what that bet is, by the way.
But there was no rules laid out. She didn't say I couldn't cheat.
Right.
So anyway, so I get on the.
You got to bring in some backup.
I got on the interwebs and started doing some research, and there's like three shops in Charlotte that I felt comfortable going to.
Okay.
And I started doing research on those and started narrowing them down. And I got on the Instagrams and saw Lamont and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? That don't look kind of like upper crust stuffy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these places, I feel out of place because I go in and, I may have grease under my nails or, something from work, and I didn't, I don't want to feel like pressured like that.
Right.
So, anyway, so I call Lamont up and I just said, hey, man, I'm an emergency case. Blah, blah, blah. Kind of filled him in on the things going on. He's like, yeah, man, I got you.
Wow.
So I think later that day or next day, he got me sized up and, him working on kind of partially mobile and things like that. So
anyway, All-Star.
Yeah, an All-Star weekend. The guy got me hooked up.
Wow.
Custom tailored suit and, just really pulled together. Won the bet, showed up, impressed everyone because in fact,
dude, you look legit.
Well, my 6-year-old laughed at me because she goes, "You look hilarious." I don't know if that was a compliment or whatever. My 15-year-old hasn't seen me dressed up probably in over 12 years. So,
wow.
So I shocked them. So I got a good impression. So, but yeah, anyway, Lamont rescued me from being able to attend a wedding in a T-shirt and jeans. So awesome. My wife was proud. I was a trophy husband for one weekend.
That a boy.
I'm not saying it was a participation trophy, but I still got a good trophy husband for a weekend.
Listen, my wife she uses granimals with my clothes. Like I got to match the elephant with the elephant. We're still doing that, bees. So, like, baby, I think I can get this. Oh no, I can't get it.
Color coded and everything.
She does. It's the purple elephant with the purple elephant. You got to make sure they match, because otherwise I'm out.
Maybe I should implement that. I don't know.
That's actually not a bad idea. You come up with your logo,
right?
Match this color logo.
Oh yeah, actually that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
How about it?
Oh my God, I'd rather you know. Let me teach you.
Awesome.
So I know you do. I guess explain a little bit about your clothing line, because I mean obviously you don't. I know that you advertise as like used or repurposed suits, I guess, on some things.
Well, that's how I started.
Okay.
That's how I started, and that's actually what I use as for my clothing closets to help, individuals that are, experiencing hardships, whether that be homeless, veterans.
Also, thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure.
I saw the picture sitting on the couch the other day, and I meant to say something, but
oh man, somebody did it for us, bro.
Yeah,
it's the way to keep the party going.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd do it again if I had to.
Okay.
But that provided me an opportunity to go to school anyway.
Yeah.
But like in terms of the clothing, I started off with vintage. I used to go out and curate clothing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Get a bunch of vintage stuff, high quality vintage. One, I appreciated the details in which they were made. It's a lot more quality made product. And again, above and beyond everything, the details within the make, the popping linings, the banded back, and all the other, just things that made it.
Accoutrements.
Yeah, accoutrements. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Great word.
That's a big
Absolutely.
word.
I'll
yes.
define that for you later.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's what pretty much, had me stuck on, the vintage stuff. Looking at TV shows like George Jefferson, even George Jefferson used to stay in a suit, and it was like double vented, hacking pockets, buttonholes, and it was always cut right. You know what I mean? And I mean stuff like that. I mean, I've always wanted to dress like that. And the vintage clothing gave me the opportunity to pretty much, I guess you would say, emulate the George Jefferson period. But I've always prided myself on being able to make the vintage current. You know what I mean? So, like, how could I actually, make that look like it's a present day thing, and you can go to a party and wear that, and it's cut and fit properly. So, the sewing skills had to come into place at that point. So, I'm able to cut it and make it look like it's something new, but it has all the details that nothing else has. And then you probably, more often than not, wouldn't find someone else with that same piece on when they go into a party. So that's how I started, and then it escalated into me being able to design. So I just started creating product that had those same details in it. And now I'm pretty much at the point where, like, I don't want anything else to come outside of my shop that doesn't have my own label on it.
That's awesome.
So it's given me that opportunity to mature and to grow as a business person. But I do still take donations from individuals. So like I do personal styling, personal shopping, and I've got some pretty well-to-do clients. And a lot of times they're switching out clothing and, hey, would you donate this to Goodwill? I'm like, no, I got some guys that might be able to use that, and they'll give it to me.
Good.
So, I'm establishing my own nonprofit where I basically have relationship or rapport with CMPD, several Department of Social Services, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, Veterans Bridge Home, to where, guys that, maybe going through, again, hardships and they need clothing, but they don't have a dime to go to Goodwill. I'm able to bring them into one of my clothing closets and treat them like they came into my store. Not giving them a handout.
Right.
I'm able to use my gift to empower them, let them know, hey, man, we all fall short of the glory, or we all have that happens to us. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing is not that it happened, is that you get up from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you keep pushing. You know what I mean? And also that you got community that has your back, too. You're not in this by yourself. Going through a lot of the things that I went through as a kid, I wouldn't have been able to overcome if it was not for the community. The word says that it takes a village to raise a child, and likewise does it to maintain a man. That's why we still have a barber and a mechanic, and a butcher, and a postman, you know what I mean? It still takes a village to make it all happen. So, being able to help them understand that, again, we all have hardships and that, we can come together, still eat and feed, and it's a way for me to be able to provide an experience that's conducive to them picking their head back up and stepping back out with their best foot forward.
That's awesome because, what separates someone trying to get back on their feet a lot of times is that their appearance, and you people that have someone that, we've all been there. Had that bad stroke of luck and, you're down to your last beat and you need that job interview. And your appearance obviously says everything. Your appearance, looking like you're half ragged can determine if you get a job making minimum wage
or win or spend.
Yeah, getting a part-time minimum wage job versus having nice dress and actually getting full-time and gainful employment.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome, man. Your heart's for that. So that's one reason I was attracted to doing this interview was because your heart for the ministry aspect, not just the part of profit and whining, dining, and being part of these exclusive parties that we all probably want to kind of live vicariously through you, but the street side where you actually are doing what you feel God has called you to do, which is actually donate your time and your skill to better someone else's life.
That's what it's all about for me. That's the biggest part of my business. You'll even see it in all of my hashtags. Fashion is my ministry. You know what I mean? That's real for me. I've slept on a bench in Uptown. That's feet from my store. It may have been selective homelessness at that time because my grandmother was worse than my drill sergeant. So she was like, if you're not in by 12, your ass got to stay out tonight.
Right.
And there was a night where it was like 12:02 and I was scared to climb the fence because I was scared of her.
Yeah.
So I had to go back uptown somewhere and just sleep on the bench till the next day, and even though, again, it was selective, at that point because
put some perspective.
It put me in a sense to say, hey, I don't want this type of life. And for those that may have to experience it, I want to be able to help. You know what I mean?
So what is it like? Because to take somebody that and see them have that humanity again, because I think so many times people will get passed over or not looked at or whatever.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That's
I can't even imagine.
That was a big thing I had to deal with this weekend during All-Star. I was seeing, a couple cops and stuff like that pulling people's blankets because they wanted to make the city look good, pull their blankets to make them get up and leave because, we got dignitaries or we got celebrities walking through that particular alley. And I don't think that, for me, again, it just broke my heart because I'm like, we got all this big corporate money down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If y'all really care, how easy is it to buy out a hotel instead of buying out a bar, and just tell them, okay, go pick up paper, guys, and we'll let you sleep in the hotel that night, and you can eat for free, and you can have your good shower and a warm place to live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How easy is that? Do we not even think about that? But I was, and I'm trying to basically foresee IAA do just that. I didn't have enough time to really put it all together during All-Star, but everything that we did during All-Star, I didn't charge tickets, and for the donations that we received, we still fed the homeless. We did it on a more intimate level this time because the city wants to get paid for it. There was also there was at one point it was illegal to feed the homeless in Charlotte,
which is an absolute shame. Don't even get me started.
I don't understand it.
Wow.
But so with that being said, it was like, well, we don't want to get in trouble doing it. And then maybe if, we took the proper steps, maybe got some other entities involved as well, got the permits that we'll be able to do it a lot bigger and have a greater impact. And it's not for the cameras. It's because we genuinely care about our community. I have people come in every day, because they know what I do, or they saw me where I first started, and they, hey, Lamar, it's just cold outside, and I don't have a coat. I may keep some of that stuff in my back closet, and I'll walk back and see if I have something their size. I grab it, come out, give it to them, give them $5 or something like that if I got it. Go get something to eat, or take them to go get something to eat, or if I got food there, give it to them. Even if I've got I've had some really high-end clients, and they were in there and they saw me do that, and I was like, dude, what the hell were you doing? It's well, it's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And, their hearts were impacted likewise afterwards. So, now that they see what I do, even if they can't make it, they'll say, dude, like, what can I do to help? Like, can I give you something for it? Like, I might not be able to be there, but what can I do? Okay. So like CJ Anderson, man, he played for the Panthers.
Okay.
I hate that we let him go, but he's one of those guys. You know what I mean? Like, call me, see me on Instagram, posting stuff, and he'll call me, hey, man, what can I give you? You know what I mean? That can help, with the community, because I was there and I saw it, you know what I mean? And I agree with what you're doing, and I know where your heart is.
Yeah.
And it's just super crazy, man. I just love what I do, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to mimic Christ, right?
Yeah.
In Christ's actions, I mean, he's pretty simplistic in what we need to do.
Yeah.
Be the hands and feet of Christ. That's kind of really our mission.
Yeah.
Totally.
When you're talking about, and I'm not comparing you to Christ by no means. So anybody that has any qualm with what I'm about to say, you can send an email directly to me. I have no problem with that.
Me too.
But what I'm saying, we're supposed to emulate Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the stories that comes to my mind in the Bible, and this is anytime I'm out there trying to outreach people that I do, and I dive into with people that have serious addiction. I'm talking about not just your casual person using heroin, which is not really a casual person using heroin, but these are the people that have sores and stuff all over their face like that. People ask me why I do that, and this what you're doing right now too. It reminds me of the story of the Bible when Christ would go perform miracles. He would always go perform a miracle with the outcast, the downtrodden, the people that are missing limbs. People that are missing limbs and digits with leprosy.
Yeah.
And,
untouchables.
The peoples that they wouldn't even look at them.
Yeah.
But just imagine what I got the chill bumps a second ago when you said the Holy Ghost chill bumps a second ago when you said these people. The people that the high end rollers would be there watching you do it, and their eyes would change. So imagine Christ walking up to a person who's missing digits and maybe a foot from leprosy, and Christ laying hands on them, and bam, those digits grow back. That he's basically showing that person in their community, that person's humanity, like you said earlier. He's bringing their humanity back. Like, look, this person is not this eyesore, this cancer of our society. This actually is a human being, a fellow brother and sister.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing right here with what you're doing in your ministry. There is handing out or dressing these people in these high roller sin. You're basically taking the wool off these people's eyes to show that person's just as equal as I am.
Same thing you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like I tell people, I mean, the heroin addict to the guy who makes $multi-million playing a professional sport. We all put our underwear on the same. We take it off. Same.
Exactly.
I mean, we're no different. Exactly. And guess what? When we die, we're all going to be in the same plot or on some urn on top of a fireplace. I mean, we all the same.
I mean, we go back to our faith. We're all equal at the foot of the cross, right?
Absolutely.
So there's nobody that's any better than anyone else.
No respect of persons.
And when you see somebody that life has taken that humanity away, and somebody that serves that person. It's a game changer. I'll never forget. There was a video of a homeless man that got a haircut by a famous barber, and then they showed him his picture and it showed him his mirror, and he starts crying. I'll never forget that, and that was my wool over my eyes. He'd taken off is just the humanity of people. We are all equal, and if you for a minute listen up, you listeners. You guys, if you think that you're better than anybody else, then you've got the wool on your eyes.
Absolutely.
Because we are all the same. So you're not any less than anybody, and you're not any better than anybody.
Oh, man,
we're all there.
Equal, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear this junk of, you can't feed the homeless. Like, dude, if you were hungry, you would want food, right?
Absolutely.
So, I can't get behind that. But man, I love your heart, dude. That's awesome.
So if there's anyone in Uptown Charlotte, granted, I know we have our panhandlers, and I know there's a sticky situation with those guys. I know a lot of those guys are in communities and they take shifts, and I understand all that. And I understand your reservations with alcohol and drugs. I completely understand that. So if you don't want to hand that person a couple bucks out the window, find Lamont. Go down to his shop uptown, hand him a couple bucks, and do your good deed.
Yeah.
Because obviously, just like your guy who does, C.J. Anderson may not have time. He's involved in other things. He don't have time, but he can contribute.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So find people. If you have a certain calling or your heart is drawn to a certain thing, it could be sex trafficking. It could be homelessness. It can be disabled vets. Just if you don't have the time to donate, use your dollars. And we're not talking about thousands of dollars. Send a few bucks in. I mean, I guarantee you waste more money on other things. I know I do.
Yeah.
You waste money on stupid stuff. So,
or if you don't have money and you have time, also go out, because I'm sure you can use people that
Time
can
is value. Absolutely.
they can help out with that.
Absolutely.
going back to the feeding the homeless thing with Charlotte. It drives me nuts. Like I got these do-gooders out here wanting to hand out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We're worried about the nutrition level of the homeless people.
Oh, who's going to have? Yeah,
come on. They hungry.
All the restaurants uptown and everything. I mean, I understand the liability aspect with the restaurants, but still, great. Well, how about they come in and eat at a table or something?
I understand like the liability thing, but come on, I guarantee you, well, if you want to get legalistic about it, take waivers with you. Have that homeless person sign their John Hancock on a waiver saying, I absolve you from any liability for you giving me food for the day.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
At least.
And don't get me started on my government stuff. That's where that's where we jump the shark though. I mean, really with policies and stuff and overthinking things. And just look at your basic human level. We wouldn't have all these stupid policies.
Yeah. Well, if man would just take care of man, we wouldn't need the government to do it. Right?
Absolutely.
If we
that's kind of the original plan, but
shocker,
we kind of divert from that, right?
Right.
So let's talk, and I could talk about this forever, but we've got time limits that we got to keep on. But your suits, do you have them for the big and tall?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there a big and tall stock?
If you got on garments, I can make garments for you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
There's enough material on this whole planet, and if not, we'll make it. We'll get some more made. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, absolutely. We can take care of everybody. We're for everyone.
Cool.
Kids, adults.
Nice.
I'll style and design for women as well. We're primarily a gentleman's boutique, but we're here for our kings and queens.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we're going to need a tailored suit for Hussein for his first inaugural date.
Oh, it's going down.
We're going to make it happen, Captain.
Y'all keep praying for me. I'm going to make sure he's dapper.
I got you. I think if there's one piece of advice I can give you about your boutique, I think you need to hand out complimentary biscuits and gravy.
Oh my God. Y'all would never leave.
You're right about that. Just 100%.
I have a little bit of Remy Martin and biscuits and gravy.
Oh my God. They would never leave.
He goes in and needs to get his suit retailored after eating all the biscuits and gravy.
Right.
Yeah,
I had to put him on a biscuit and gravy restriction.
Yeah, you got to stop that, biggin. All right, put it down.
They are delicious.
That's the first thing he said. He was like, oh my God, man, I'm not going to be able to have my biscuits and gravies today. I was like, oh my God, dude, like straight up drink water. All right.
And I did. I purged.
You probably had like a double dose of them the next day though. Like, oh my God.
Nah, actually, no, I had a dozen Krispy Kreme on the way home.
He did. He talked about it. Yep.
With his buffet pants on.
I switched into my wife's maternity pants.
Listen, the worst thing that my wife ever did was teach me about stretchy jeans. Oh, buddy, I'm out.
You're a game.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Lamont, once again, man, we really appreciate you coming all the way up, I guess, out in the country here compared to uptown, and taking time to sit down with us.
I love Concord, and I love you guys as well. Brother.
How can obviously our listeners? How can they get in touch with you? Your social medias, website, whatever you got.
Oh, well, definitely go and check out that brand new website that I just actually hadn't even launched yet because I've been so busy with All-Star Weekend, but it's live. Check me out at www.houseoflamon.com. You can also catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest at the House of Lamon.
Perfect.
All right.
Wow. Man, like I said, I
forgot 116 West 4th Street.
Yeah, there you go. And that's Charlotte, in the uptown area. So you can. What
was the address again?
116. So 116 West 4th Street, and the number I guess is 704-712-9531.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
we're gonna have all your links and stuff on our show notes. So if you are listening and you didn't catch that or you're driving or whatever, just go to the southernfriedphilosophy.com website, click on show notes, and then you can find all of this information there.
Awesome. Once again, we appreciate you coming in, man.
Not a problem at all.
All right, bud.
For your listeners, till I see you again, stay dapper, my friend.
That's right. Throw that in it. Hey, guys, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Once again, this is episode 90. I know we didn't say that.
90.
90. We've been around across the table from 90 episodes so far. This is pretty awesome. So anyway, you can go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy, or our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. Our Instagram, Twitter's at SFP Radio. My favorite way for you guys to connect with us is through iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, name another. I don't know.
iHeartRadio and now States Vegas Radio.
States Vegas Radio. You just download their app or check it out on their Facebook page. Yep. I believe. Anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We really are grateful for all you listeners and spreading the word. And each and every week, just tuning in.
Yeah, and if, like I said, we're at episode 90, so if you are a new listener on States Vegas, go to our website. You can listen to all of our episodes there for free, mind you. So there's that. If you want to contribute to the show, there's always our Patreon link. You can check us out there and donate and throw a couple dollars our way. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so that's another show. We've wrapped up. Thank you guys for tuning in. And next week on the show, we've got Julius Hoke. He is from States Vegas Radio, so we're excited to have him. All right, and as always, guys, keep looking up.